I don't know what David thinks this is, but David has Liz all the way messed up, and he better stop playing with my good sis Liz, okay? YouTube, and I'm so happy to see you. It's ready to love. So this episode is called The Friends Zone. So on this episode, we meet up at the Gentleman's Lounge with the guys and Uncle Tommy or Nephew Tommy, whatever it is. It's about time. They're halfway there through the process. Everybody should have an idea of who they like and who they don't like, and who's their number one or top three or whatever the case is. And let's go ahead and introduce them to the friends and see what the friends think about them. So that's the assignment for the guy, because this episode is the ladies' turn to get knocked down. First person we see is Joel. Joel has his two, you know, guys call their close homeboys brothers. So I don't know if it's really his brothers, but he has two guys there and a lady friend. And I just don't like how she was represented, because the hair was looking a little crooked and the makeup wasn't looking too shabby. You know how it is when you see a black sister looking a little jacked up, you feel some type of way, because it's like, oh, come on now, why did they let her go out on the camera like this? And they meet Vernisha. Vernisha had on this form-fitting dress, because you know she got lumps and bumps and humps. Did I say that Joel was cooking crabs? He cooked crabs, y'all. So at the same time, while they're introducing us to Joel's peoples, they show us Chris, and he's doing a podcast. All of the guys have one guy friend and one female friend. Joel had two guy friends and a female friend, but everybody else after this is one guy friend and one female friend. So Chris is doing a podcast with his friends, and I was like, oh, okay, because what are they talking about? They didn't say the name of the podcast, give us an idea. Maybe someone could support. Let's go listen to it. Or maybe it was just for show. Our friend Vernisha says she's territorial. And it's like, oh, and they're looking like, oh, because, you know, it's a game. Not a game, but it's a process. So you can't be territorial with someone when they're trying to get to know other people. But at the same time, it's the one person you've been focusing on. So you just so happen to feel territorial, and she did feel some type of way about Amber getting a kiss on the cheek from Joel. And the friend actually said he's friendly and all that, which is like, okay, because she pointed out that the girls kind of feel like they have something special because he flirts and talks to everybody the same way. Amber to the podcast studio. She looks really cute, but the shoes didn't go with the outfit. But I'm not a stylist. They start asking her questions, and one thing that she said was she likes to take on issues head on, which I could relate. I like to talk about it right now. She can yell, but she won't curse. How do you yell without? I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you're arguing with your dude, it's gonna be a point if he's not listening, or you feel like you're talking for no reason, where then maybe it's a Taurus in me, but then you start to feel like, you know what, F this crap. She told any of her friends about Chris, and she says no. Then they ask if she's told any, they said family first and friends. But she says no again. And then he's like, I get it, because it's a little too soon. You don't want to start telling people about somebody you've been talking to for like a couple of weeks or a few weeks and it don't work out. Because it's like, I told everybody about you for no reason. So he understands it. What I thought was not true. The women aren't like 29 and awfully younger than the guys, because Joel is 42, Vernisha is 40. And she wants to get married soon. And when she said that, it made everybody feel like, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. And Joel's like, slow down, shawty. Don't tie me down just yet. Give me some time to figure out if this is really what I want. But I think Vernasia is just like, I like you, I want to be with you, I'm feeling you, so let's do what it do. I don't know. I think she was just answering the question like, okay, I do want to get married. I see myself getting married. But she didn't say I see myself getting married to Joel. But she's just putting that out there that that's what she wants. And at 42 and 40, I don't know if Joel would want to get married again. Because it kind of, I don't know. I don't feel like Joel wants to get married.
Amber
says that Chris is her #1, which we already knew to the friends. Chris's friend says that he feels like
Amber
the good energy and a good vibe, and that it feels like a perfect situation between the two of them. And she really likes that. She's like, oh, and I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. A female friend of Joel thinks that the territorial thing can be an issue. Also getting clingy vibes. The guys think that she's cool, she just really likes him. But the homegirl, I don't want to say she was giving hateration, but you could just say that, okay, territory is not cool, but she was just like totally like, bad sign, bad vibes and everything like that. And I was like, you have to throw it out like that. I don't think I should drink coffee when I record a video anymore because I'm just feeling all over the place. It's just too much. Jason is at the lounge. She has his 2 friends with him. We see Liz walk in, and I was kind of shook because they only have 1 date. And also we know that the reason he's feeling Liz all of a sudden is because she was wearing that red dress. Other than that, like, what sparked your interest? I don't remember how old Jason is, but he's late 30s for sure. So when they were talking about the whole situation between the girls getting to know Jason, his homegirl did throw out there that Jason is very resilient. He could fall 100 times. He's going to keep getting back up. He's going to keep going and keep trying to do it what he has his mind set to. Now, when they start asking about, I don't remember who asked the question, but I know that Kyra wants a guy to be the head. She wants him to control everything. And I'm like, I could understand, but is Kyra gonna leave her career? Because to me, when you think of the man of the house, it's he works, he takes care of everything, and you're the woman. You do the cleaning, do the cooking, take care of the kids. And because if you want him to lead, I feel like they can't lead without us. Liz says she wants a spiritual leader. Unless you're gonna marry a pastor. It's not often that you hear a woman is married to a man who be like, let us pray. I'm gonna pray for the family. I'm going to pray for this. Normally it's the woman, because again, this is what the man does, this is what the woman does. It's not in writing, neither is the rules that we play. But it's just more common and it's more known that the wife keeps the family together. She's the one who makes sure everything is going good and together. And part of that is spiritual. Both the ladies, they make sense in what they're saying, but is it reality? I didn't know. And even Jason's friend was like, when Kyra said she wants to be married in 5 years, he says, now there is a possibility that the timing is off, and if it doesn't happen in 5 years, are you okay with that? And Kyra was like, what did Kyra say? I don't even know. And you know, she was like, I don't think she's gonna compromise that. Liz said that Jason was able to break down the book of David, and she saw that as a spiritual thing. And I was like, okay, he broke down the book of David, and that's nice. But is it gonna be spiritual all the way? Because we know there's those conversations like, I want a man who pray. All right, let me pray over this food. Let's pray, you know, over the phone. And he'd be like, oh my God, he's a praying man. And then he'd be snoring, be like, babe, you're not gonna pray before you go to sleep? Probably anybody got time for that. Liz politely excuses herself from the group and says that she has to leave, and Jason walks her out. And then that's left with Kyra with the group. And Kyra actually said, you know, I'm wondering if they dated. Now sis was wearing a little romper that was a little shout, okay? But you know, I don't know. Which actually, funny thing, right? This is gonna translate until we get to the next part. Remember this, when Kyra was on the date with Jason and his friends, she pointed out she's wondering if they dated at some point, okay? But the friends think that Kyra's a better match for Jason. And the one friend was like, you could feel the Jesus spirit. And I'm like, oh, she just says clearly she wants a spiritual leader. She believes in Jesus Christ. She's a Christian. But she was still fun. It wasn't like she was like holier than thou and only speaking about that the whole time. But you know, I get the joke. Haha, let me laugh. AJ and his friends are meeting Kyra to play volleyball. So AJ and Kyra lose because communication was a part of this game and they suck at it, like we already know. They go to sit down, and when the friends start asking Kyra questions, Kyra was like, oh, I see they're asking questions, time to flip the script. Me, I was kind of like, okay, so they can't ask you questions. You guys really want to ask the questions, Kyra? What's wrong with that? Like, oh, I see they're asking me questions. Let me go ahead and flip it. So here's the part where I was asking you to remember about Jason and Kyra and friends. So when Kyra's with AJ and the friends, the female friend says, how do you feel about female friends? And Kyra said, I'm okay with it depending on the situation, or it depends on the situation. Which when we go back to her and Jason with the friends, she already threw out there, she wondered if Jason and his homegirl had something going on, but you don't know anything about their situation. So are you lying to save face? Also, when the friends were talking about AJ saying that they think he's ready to love, AJ said, well, I should have brought you guys around when it was with the other girls. And she's like, oh, why you bring up the other girls when I'm here, or something like that. And it's like, oh my God, Kyra and AJ just don't make sense to me. But the friends do say they feel like Kyra has her guard up. I guess they're feeling her. They think she's cool. They had nothing bad to say about her. So then we see Chris. Oh, now look at that. Ron is at the lounge with Chrysanthemum and Alexis. So this one was a little funny and kind of crazy, because Alexis was like, I see you wearing that jumper with all the holes on the side, and we come here to meet the friends. What are you wearing? Chrysanthemum wasn't expecting Alexis to be there, which, okay, understandable. Ron's friends are there, and they start asking questions, right? Alexis had made another statement about Chrysanthemum, but I don't remember what it was on top of my head. But when the friends were talking to Chrysanthemum, I guess she was very short answered. One question that stuck out was when the friend was like, how do you feel about kids? Chrysanthemum said, I'm open. But then she said, I'm not one of the people who thought about having kids. I'm selfish. I could understand that, because I was selfish too, until I reached the age when I was like, I mean, won't hurt. I'll just say I'm happy I waited. I'm very happy that I took care of myself until I was ready, because I was able to enjoy myself and enjoy my life and be as much selfish as I could be, until I was like, you know what? Let me just have one. Let me just have one. It won't hurt. I don't want to be old in my 40s and 50s and then look around and I don't got nobody to say I love you and mommy and stuff. Let me have one. You feel me? Aisha's 39. Liz is 40. Or is it Vernasia's 40? No, Liz is 40. Vernasia's 39. I know for sure Amber's 31. But other ladies, I didn't catch their ages. So it's a nice combination of ladies. So once Chrysanthemum felt like she was being interviewed and she didn't like that, she wasn't feeling that, she excused herself and she left. Not because she had anything to do or anywhere to go or any emergencies, simply because, like Chrysanthemum said, I don't like being interviewed. Even though she was there to meet the friends of the guy who's interested in her, that she's also interested in. And I'm pretty sure if she had friends, she would want her friends to dig Ron out. But of course, Chrysanthemum is a selfish person, like she said. She ain't got time for that. So she said, goodbye. So that leaves Alexis with the friends. And she was, you know, real personable and everything like that. They asked her a question about because I guess Ron likes to travel on short notice, and if that's something she would be okay with. I don't know if they meant her being a part of the traveling or her okay with him going out to travel, but she just threw out there like, I have a village, so if I need to leave my child with somebody, that'll be okay. Hey, yo, baby, I'm finna go to New York for the weekend. Oh, okay. Let me call my auntie and ask them if they can hold a kid for a weekend. Not because we have anything important to go to. Not because I have to go with you. But just because you want to go to New York. Ron is putting out there who he is, and Alexis isn't catching it. I don't know if Ron has children, but Ron is living in the moment. And when you have responsibilities, you cannot have a relationship with somebody like that, because if they're able to get up and leave at any time without any worries or anyone that is relying on them, and you have someone that's relying on you, you can't rock with that person, because they're gonna keep doing that, because it's like, it ain't about me, it's you. You got the issue. You are the one who has to check in. I don't have to. So though that answer was all nice and cute and goody, I don't like it, because saying, oh, I have a village and I could just leave my kid with somebody. There's a lot of people that I trust that I can leave my kid with. You're a mother. If you have to go to the store, if you have an appointment, if you have to go do an exam, or what do they call those things where you work for a company and then all the managers have to go on a trip? I forgot what that's called. It's a specific name, but I'll just say business meeting. If it's not important, I ain't watching your child. I ain't doing it. Oh, I'm finna go out with Bay. We're gonna go to Las Vegas for the weekend. So can you watch Ray Ray for me? Actually, I can't. I mean, it's not important. No. But the friends feel like Alexis is a way better fit for Ron than Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum would be a good match for like parties and events and everything like that. But if he wants a future and to settle down in something real, then Alexis would be the better match for Ron. David is with his friends, and he's like, oh, let me tell you a little bit about Liz. Liz is this and that. Oh, there she is. This part of the show had me like really like feeling like, am I bugging? Because it was just the way that David was like, I'm like, I don't understand, like, why is David here? Like, what does he think this is? David was like, oh, I move a little slow. Liz called me when her and Joel had the date and they kissed, and she said, I'm still her number one, but I still feel some type of way. Okay, fine. But then Liz tells us, when the friends ask her if she's okay with waiting, she said, yes, I am, but I'm gonna need a little more consistency. So I feel like he's playing around with Liz, like, why are you being inconsistent? You're moving slow. Your friends, when Liz asked them if they think you're ready to love, they said yes, they think you're ready to love, which I think is bullcrap. And he goes, oh, you guys know the reason. No, you're on a show called Ready to Love. And like, I mean, Liz has never been married or have had any children. She also said she's ready to find her life partner. Liz said perfectly, you know if you want me or if you don't. Don't string me along to try to play with my heart. This girl said you her number one. You guys are in a dating process. She called you to tell you what happened between her and somebody else on a date. How slow are you moving, and how are you inconsistent when it's only been a few weeks? Why are you acting like a victim child? I just want to be sure, so I'm moving extra slow. If you don't keep consistency to get to know someone, how will you even know if it's a good choice if you're not making the effort to get to know them more and more every time and every day and every moment if you're not communicating? So it's BS. David is full of BS. I don't like that because I feel like you playing with Liz. I feel like David is playing with Liz, and I don't like it. So then Kyra and Jason go out to an art gallery. It's a cute date. There was Rose. He gave her a rose, and there were rose petals on the floor. They looked at some paintings, and of course Jason makes a move on to her. They kissed a couple times, but he also said that he's really feeling Kyra, you know. He says he likes Kyra a whole lot. So that right there is okay. Because I think it was Kyra and Jason the whole time. Then when he saw Liz with the red dress and all of a sudden Liz was in the picture. But at this point, he's really feeling Kyra a lot. And I think he's ready to go to the next level with Kyra for real. But Kyra's still worrying about AJ. I ranted already on my last video. I ain't ranting again. Girl, boom. So back at the gentleman's lounge, the guy said, oh, we're gonna need a strong drink for today because it's gonna be a tough day. So Joelle doesn't like the little clinginess going on. Jason has a moment where he tears up and he cries because he feels like the way the girls talk about him, it made him feel good because coming where he comes from, you don't get a lot of compliments or uplifting. So Jason really appreciated how the girls talk so well about him with the friends because he doesn't really hear people compliment him up like that or talk good about him like that. So he really appreciated that. But it was nice that they're like, go ahead, let it out. Cause yeah, don't be afraid to get emotional. Let your emotions out, you know? So after he had the emotional moment, Jason also says that his friend feel like Kyra is the ideal woman for him in a sense. And that Kyra would be the best look for him. When Ron talks about his date, he said that his friends feel like Alexis is the better match for him if he wants to go further and do better things. And Chris is more for a party, looking good and just for the moment. So then we get to the point where Tommy asks the guys, if you had to pick one woman to go home with today, who would it be? AJ says Kyra. Joelle says Kyra. I don't know why Joelle said Kyra when Joelle, like Chris said, I'm flabbergasted. Dude, you've been all about Vernasia this whole time, but now you're saying Kyra. What kind of voodoo does this girl have on you guys? Because of the fact that Vernasia is clingy and territorial, Joelle is saying Kyra off the top of his head, as he said, because they had a good conversation. Random picking? What? Chris was like, what is he doing, baby? David picked Kyra. I'm telling y'all, David is playing with Liz and I don't like it. So because one person earlier has said, who was it? Because Jason said that his friend said that Liz was stiff, now all of a sudden David want to take that. I see that David is someone that probably the guys can influence his decision on who he chooses or on how he sees someone. Because all of a sudden Liz, the girl that you were talking to, the one that you introduced your friends to, now you're saying that you'll pick somebody else that you have no connection with, because I don't even think Kyra and David ever even had a date. Because where does this come from? David saying Kyra was when I was like, okay, this is some BS stuff, because ain't no way. Where did you pull that from? Oh, I gotta pick one? Just one? All right, guys. Well, I guess we're all going home with Kyra. David is a foo-foo, dumb dude, bro. Jason had every right to feel some type of way. Even though when he said we kissed, I was like, okay, but you kissed Liz, Jason. But I can understand, like, oh, I'm feeling this girl now. All y'all playing around saying her name. Like, what y'all think this is? Like, I can understand AJ. Because AJ been talking to her. They had a date way before. So AJ saying Kyra, I can understand. But all y'all dudes saying Kyra, like, what y'all think this? Like, don't do that. Find your own chick. Don't take my Kyra. Okay. Ron says Alexis. Chris says Amber. David was like, oh, how many connections Kyra got? How much time she got? And I said, shut up, David. David, shut your bitch ass up, you punk ass. No. Chrysanthemum told Joel, you spend too much time with your kids. I wonder if you're going to have enough time for me. Don't do that to a man who got kids, okay? Ron said Chris tried to throw Chrysanthemum under the bus because she won't talk to him. I felt the same way too, Ron. I kind of did, okay? I'm just going to get through it because the phone about to die. So Chrysanthemum and Chris. Chris don't get that Chrysanthemum don't like him. He said he liked her a lot. Since when do you like Chrysanthemum a lot, Chris? That was weird. Chrysanthemum said, I know what this date is. Get to it. So when he talked to her about the whole not flying back, she said, y'all don't like y'all own mess when it comes back to you. The men were dramatic as hell trying to give the announcement. Chrysanthemum got eliminated. Chrysanthemum is mad at Ron and AJ because she feel like one of them threw her under the bus. Liz says she's been open to the guys this whole process, so she doesn't know where they're getting the tip from. Needs to take down more layers, needs to be more open. How much more open can Liz get with y'all? That's what she's saying. Chrysanthemum is like, I'm gonna find out whether it was Ron or AJ who threw me under the bus. And that was the episode. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and come back for more. Thank you so much. Emerald Louu, and I'm out. Peace.